Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. This is Sandra James, and welcome to Living It with Sandra James. If you are new here, I am a colorectal cancer survivor living with a permanent ostomy. And I'm here today to answer some questions that continue to come up. I'm going to also do a video to answer these questions for those of you who may not catch the live stream, and for those of you who may want to come back to these questions or have these questions yourself. So, welcome in. And as you come in, I would greatly appreciate it if you hit the like button. So I may not get to all the questions because there are several questions, but I'm going to just answer them coming through as I receive the questions. Welcome in, Miss G, my favorite auntie. How you doing? Happy Monday to you and welcome in. I just got started, and so I have some questions here that I'm going to answer, and I have answered them before, but they keep coming up. So I'm going to go ahead. So this first question is, do you know when you have a BM, which is, of course, a bowel movement? So the answer to this question is not just a yes or a no. So there's several aspects to answering the question. So I'm going to start with the yes. So yes, I know when I have a bowel movement, and the reason that I know is because the weight of my ostomy pouch changes. Sometimes I will know that I'm having it at the very moment when I'm having it, because if I have very thick output, then I can feel it as it comes out. But if it's my normal consistency, I may not feel it until the weight of the pouch changes. So, and then there's a no. Sometimes when I'm having a bowel movement, because my stoma does not have nerve endings, I may not know that is coming out until, again, the weight of the bag changes. So that's the answer to that question. So predominantly, yes, I know. And sometimes no, I don't know because my stoma doesn't have the nerve ending. So there's no feeling in there. So I may not know until, the weight of the bag changes. Hi, Grant. Welcome in. How are you this evening? It's good to see you again. So I was just sharing with Auntie that I got some questions, and I've had these questions before. So I'm going to answer them now, and I'm going to also do a video about these questions and answer the questions again in the video. But the question was, do you know, excuse me, do you know when you have a bowel movement? And as you were coming in on the end of it, the answer is yes and no. I know when I have thick output because I can feel it when it's coming through. And then is no when I don't, but I'll know because the weight of the bag will change. And especially if the bag is new, I just put it on or whatever, and then of course the weight of it is going to change. And so that's how I'll feel it. So the next question was, can you feel it like you do normally? And what the person is asking is, does it feel the same as it does when it's, coming from the backside? And so the answer to that question is no, it does not feel the same, because when it's coming from the backside, prior to or right when you have to go, you can feel it, and there's a urge or a certain type of feeling that we have and so we know that we have to go. Now, there's this thing that I talked about. It's a phenomenon, and I talked about it in a video on last week. I sometimes feel that urge, but it's a phantom rectum syndrome, is what it's called. And it's the feeling that I have to go, even though nothing is happening back there. And the reason for that is that the brain is sending signals to the backside because there are still nerves in the backside. So sometimes I'll feel the sensation that I have to go, even if I really don't have to go and nothing is really happening back there. And when I feel that, I still may not have to go from my stoma, but it's just a phantom feeling. So that's the answer to that. So no, uh, it does not feel the same going as it does going from the backside. The next question is, if your may I ask if your stoma hurts or feels weird when you touch it? So when I touch my stoma, I cannot feel anything because the stoma does not have nerve endings. So I want to say that it feels something like the inside of your cheek, but the reason why I'm not going to use that as an example is because if you're chewing something and you bite the inside of your cheek, you're going to feel it and it's going to hurt. So with the stoma, when you touch it, you can't feel anything because it just doesn't have any nerve endings. So it doesn't hurt at all. Now, I would think that there would be some pain of some sort if there was an accident or if I was to get hit with something in that area, or it would become damaged in some way. But other than that, there is no feeling in the stoma. Now, the peristomal skin, the skin around it, that will hurt if there's like infection or skin irritation or something like that. Then I would be able to feel that, and that would be painful. Though I've never had skin irritation before, surely the skin around the stoma would definitely be painful and hurt if it was infection or if there was some irritation. So, so far, does anyone have any questions related to the ostomy bag or the stoma or anything related to this colorectal cancer survival journey and living with the permanent ostomy that I'm living so far? Do you guys have any questions that you would like to ask me? Ask me anything. I'm here, and if I have the answer, I will give it. If I know it, and if I don't, I can't. And then I'll have to come back and answer when I do. So are there any questions? Okay, no questions unless you're typing. So this other question was kind of funny. And so they're asking, when your stoma makes noise, do you excuse yourself or do you act like nothing has happened? And my answer to that is, if my stoma makes some noise while I'm in public, if I'm by myself, of course, no. But if I'm in public and my stoma makes noise and I'm around other people, of course, I will excuse myself, and I will also inform them of what's happening so that they will know, what's going on. And everybody knows because everybody passes gas what that sound is like. So for the sake of, you know, with I'll just say it like this: with women, we already feel like it's unladylike to pass gas in public, but in my situation, I have no control over it. So the best thing that I can do is say, excuse me, and if need be, I can elaborate on why that was happening, and, and let them know, let the person know that I have no control over it. And that be that. But I've never had any uncomfortable situations like that. I have been in the company of other people when my stomach has made noise, and most people act like they don't hear it, but when it happens and I hear it and I know that they hear it, I'll say something about it. But most of the time when I've been in public with someone else, they already know that I have the ostomy bag. And usually I would tell them ahead of time, well, while we're together, this is something that could potentially happen. And if it does, I'm excusing myself in advance, and people usually just be like, oh, don't worry about it. It's natural, it's normal. But I'm not worried about it because I can't be worried about it. I can only speak about it and educate someone about it should that happen. And so that's how I deal with that. But those were the questions that I had. And I've had these questions before, and I have asked other ostomates before I knew that I was going to have one. I have asked them these same questions. And so these I know from asking them and getting their answers. And now I know firsthand from my own personal experience. So that's basically what I wanted to share today, and just get the questions out. And like I said before, I'll do a video about it. I get questions like these all the time. And so even before I get an opportunity to make the video, I'll have even more questions and I'll just add them to the video. But it's a very interesting thing because people want to know, living with an ostomy, and, how do we function? How do we go to the restroom? We know that we go through the bag. People know that we go through the stoma and into the bag. But these are the type of questions that come up even in the midst of, a person knowing that they want to know everything about it. And especially for those who are caring for other people, they want to know. And even though they're doing firsthand experience with people, especially people who are new to having an ostomy, they just want to know. And I'm here to inform because it's important. It's important, and we never know when we're going to have to, excuse me, care for someone else or to help someone else should they be in a situation where they have to help someone out that has an ostomy. And so that's my take for today. And I want to thank you guys for being here. And again, if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat, or you can also email at livingitcommunity@gmail.com. You can put your questions. If your question is really personal and you don't want to have it in the chat, then you can email me and I will respond to your question. And anything else that I can help anyone with, I'm here. And you're welcome in this space. You're welcome in this place. And I'm here for you. And then in the meantime, I want to thank you guys for being here again. And I'm going to land the plane. I just came on to answer the question. And I will see you all in the next stream and in the next video. And for those of you who are catching the replay, You're welcome here. Thank you for being here. And you may also ask your questions, and I will be more than happy to respond to your questions. I will talk to you all soon. Have a great evening.
Living it stronger.